Hi there, welcome to Green Guys on the Drive. We're just getting started with our third year in operation. We were here a couple days ago starting the cleaning and the preparation for this growing season, and today we're going to finish that off. So finish off the cleaning and finish off some of the setup and then plant some of our first plants. So here we're just looking at two of the units, and you can see down there is our green reservoir here, which is basically two 30-gallon drums, rainwater drums we got from the city of Vancouver. And what we're doing right now is we're just finishing off the cleaning of the pipes. So if you were to take a look here, over the winter these got a lot of algae and algae growth in there. So a couple days ago we cleaned them. We scrubbed them clean using a couple of obviously clean toilet brushes. And then we in the reservoir here over here, what we did is we added about a 10% concentration of just household white vinegar. And then today what we're doing is we're starting off with just flushing out the system, so getting rid of all the acid. Again, the idea being is that the increasing the acidity would help to clean out all the residual algae. So we're just flushing that out right now. So here you can see we're just going to see if the cleaning is complete. We're just going to test out and see what the pH of the solution is. And let's just using a standard pH tape here. And we'll take it out and see how we're doing. And let's take it in a little bit more. If we compare it, you can still see that we're still pretty acidic. We still need to flush this out. So as the system continues to clean or flush itself with the vinegar, let's take a look at some of the seedlings we have that we'll transplant today. So these seedlings were planted about 2.5 weeks ago, and you can see that they're fairly well established, and we've got two trays here. So this first tray, you can see we have some kale, and then we have some Chinese vegetables similar to pak choi, and then we have some arugula here, and then we have some winter version of some lettuce. And then you can see that the roots are fairly well developed. Let's just take a look. And these are let's just pull this out. This is just simply this is if you take a look, this is just simply a little bit of peat with a polymer in there to help hold it together, and some nutrients injected into it. I believe it's called the peat plug or root plug, rapid rooter root plug that we bought at our local hydroponic store. And you can see that the roots are fairly well established, and they have a bit of there's a tap root going down, and it's blowing in the wind there. And that's important because that's the root that when we put into the hydroponic system, when we transplant it, we'll draw the water out. Will be the main source of water for the plant, and we'll show a little bit more of that later. So let's go ahead and put this back. And yeah, again, these are we started these indoors under 2 T5 grow lights in a fairly controlled environment. And over here we can see the other batch of seedlings, and again there's about 50 per tray, and we can see that we have way over here, they're a little bit smaller. We have some lettuce here, and then we have well, they're all lettuce going across here. And then you can see this last row here was spinach that we tried to grow, and we're not sure why this didn't do so well. We tried 2 batches of seeds in here, and you can see that out of about 10 seedlings, only one of them made it here, and so we've got 1 spinach here. So we've got to do a little bit of troubleshooting to figure out what's happening with that. But as you can see, the lettuce is doing fairly well as well. So as the system continues to flush, let's take a look at how we suspend the seedlings or the plants in the hydroponic garden. So what you can see is there's the seedling inside the rapid rooter plug there. And what we've done is we've taken that and we've put it inside this brown cup or pot called a net pot, which is just like a garden planter with holes in it. And what we do is we stabilize that with these clay pallets here called Hydroton, and that just adds stability. And down here at the bottom you can see we have a wick and or a little piece of felt sticking out, which is important because if you look, you can see that the roots at this stage aren't long enough to reach the bottom of the net pot and bridge the gap that's between the net pot and the bottom of the pipe. And what do I mean by that? Let's take a look. If we see, we're taking a look at, there's one of the holes in the pipe, and if you see, if we put that in there, put the pot in there and you look from this angle, maybe it's a bit hard to see, but you can see there's a gap between where the water flows, the nutrient flows, the nutrient-rich solution flows, and the net pot itself. So that's why we need the wick, is to wick up the water or the nutrient solution so the roots get fed. And then what ends up happening is that as the plant grows, the roots will then surround the wicking medium or the felt there, and will grow down along the pipe. And so this year we're using a different type of wicking medium. I mentioned before it was a felt, and it is a felt. Essentially, what the nurseries call it is a capillary mat, which they use in ordinary flatbed gardening in a nursery. They can use it there. So we just got this at our one of the local gardening stores, Lee Valley, and we're just testing it out right now to make sure it works. So you can see there's the felt sticking up between the net pot and the hydroton there. And you can see, if you look, maybe you can see that it is, went out of focus there for a little bit, but if we pull this out, you can see that it is, put it in the light there, and you can see, hopefully you can see there that it has become wet. So it is in fact actually sucking up, it is actually wicking up the nutrient solution in the pipes there. So this is a go. Let's just do a quick check here and make sure the system is finished flushing and the pH is back down to about the value of city water here. So we're just going to use this pH strip here. We're going to stick it in the reservoir and then compare it to our color sample there to decode what the pH is. So let's take a look. So we just hold it in there for a few seconds, bring it out, and it's probably going to be a little bit maybe hard to see over the video, but I'm just going to hold that up there and see what value we're looking at. And I would say we're pretty close, between 5.8 to 6.0. So that's it's pretty close to the pH of our city water here in Vancouver. So or our tap water. So we're going to go ahead and start adding the nutrients, and then turn the system on, set up the oxygen, and then we'll put in the plants. So for nutrients here, what we use is a brand called Nutrilife, and that comes in two components, A and B. And you can see the numbers there on the NutriGrow A, the 1000, and on the NutriGrow B, 3927. Those just simply indicate the ratio of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, which are the three main elements that plants need to grow. And these are the same elements that exist in soil. And there's some other also trace elements such as copper and zinc and whatnot, and other ones that plants need to grow as well. But again, the main ones are the nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. So we're going to go ahead and mix these, and yeah, and then we'll add it to the solution. So I've gone ahead and added the nutrients to the solution, the nutrient solution here, and now I've tested the pH, and the pH is a little bit low, so I'm just going to add some pH up, which is simply just a base, and that'll help to raise the pH and get it within the 6.0 range, 6 to 6.5 range, which is ideal for growing the plants that we have that we're going to put in today. So now that we've balanced the pH of the nutrient solution after adding the nutrients with the pH up, or the base, we're going to go ahead and set up the system for adding extra oxygen to the nutrient solution, and this just simply helps keep the plant's immune system up and healthy, so it can fight off disease and pests. So what we're using to add oxygen is just a standard aquarium air pump here, which you can see here. And what we've done is we've gone ahead and we've just attached it with an extension cord to the power supply for the pump as well. And if you look at the pump, the air pump here, you can see there's two lines coming off of it, and each line basically goes up, and you can see right up here it ties into two lines here, and each one of these lines just simply has this is a tube. Each of these lines, these blue tubes, just allows air to seep out in little bubbles, and that adds oxygen to the water. And so, to give you an example, let's just take a look at how this works here. It's a little bit messy. You get when you're a one-man camera show here. And what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and add this. We're just going to go ahead, we're going to go ahead and add this to one side of the nutrient solution there, and what you can see is that there's the bubbles coming up. So we're about done this work session. You can see that we planted about 50 plants in one of the units. I've only turned on the one unit so far just because of the number of plants we have, and you'll also see that down there on the bench we have about 50. We have the one tray that we decided not to plant, and that's just primarily out of concern that the particular type of lettuce that's in there, that it's still a little bit too cold. So we'll probably hold that in the nursery for about another week, and then we'll look at putting it in the ground, or in the pipe, sorry, in about another week's time. But yeah, if you take a closer look here, we'll just come in and have a closer look down here, so you can see again what we showed you before. There's looks like to be an arugula, and then we have it sitting in the net pot with a hydrotin around it. And if we pull it out, we can see that actually this one we're not using the wick, because in the nursery you can see the length of the root that grew all on its own. So there you go. That's that. Here's the end of this session, and stay tuned. We'll let you know how it goes in the next week and the weeks coming.